right, Shalom Akim. All right, this is the brother Samak coming with another lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our elders and apostles, from Apostle Tahar on down, and peace and blessings to the brothers doing this work in truth and in sincerity. All right, so coming with another lesson, Lord willing, through the Spirit's edifying, just going into being adaptable, being a chameleon, all right, learning how to blend in to your environment, all right, and roll with the punches, all right, however you want to look at it. As a man in his truth and as a sister in his truth, right, you have to be adaptable, right? You have to learn how to mold to the current status and afflictions, all right, and the conditions that you are in. And the way you do this is, one, by being humble, right? Understanding that all things are done by the Most High, right? All these things are His will, His purpose, right? And you don't really have control over the outcome. The only thing you have control of is the actions that you take. So with knowing that, right, you learn to be able to accept things for what they are, right? Accept the things that you can't change, and realize the things that you can change, and then thus making those changes. So all these things are a part of adaptability, right? When you look at a chameleon or most reptiles, they have camouflage ability where they're able to blend in with the environment that they're near, and what this does is it hides them from prey or predators. It hides them from predators, and it keeps them safe. Or you have some animals who actually use this ability as predators to catch their prey lacking, right? To catch their food, wait for their food to come walk by, and then they snap and get them, So that's a skill that, we ought to learn in this walk, because we're going to be thrown into a lot of different situations and conditions. We're going to be tossed to and fro, right? We're not going to have all highs, but we're also not going to have all lows. And we're also not going to have all mediums, right? It's going to be a balance of highs, lows, mediums. And you have to be able to learn to go with whatever happens, because if you allow these afflictions and these conditions to get the best of you, what's going to happen is, one, your mind's going to be bugged out and plagued with thoughts. I'm not going to say bugged out, but your mind's going to be plagued with irrational thoughts. It's going to start preying on your spirit and your faith. And then what that does is it causes you to then make irrational decisions. Now you start to make decisions out of emotion, all right, out of sorrow, out of impatience, or whatever the case is, right? You make very what's the word I'm looking for? Impulsive decisions. And nothing good ever comes from making impulsive decisions. I know for a fact, because I've been there, I've done that. You have to be of a sound, level-headed mind when you're in this truth, right? You have to be as a stoic, right? Being a stoic is not being emotionless or feelingless. No, it's actually the opposite. It's actually being full of emotions and full of feelings, but rather understanding and comprehending them and controlling them, and not allowing them to control you. So you see it happen with brothers all the time, man. Fears and afflictions of the world will get the best of you, and you'll end up, fucking, spazzing out, getting angry, lashing out. It'll affect the relationship you have with family and friends in the world. People that, typically are going to be in your life regardless of you in the truth or not. Your family, your mother, father. Maybe you got a woman who ain't in the truth. Maybe your sister ain't got a man that's in the truth. Kids or whatever. If you're an older brother or sister and you got, adult kids, these are the things that you have to be adaptable, man. You got to be able to change with the times and the seasons. And because look at the apostles, man. The apostles started doing this work, in the 80s, 90s. So with them being in this, start doing this truth around like the 80s, 90s, times were fairly different than what they are today, man. You know, things are not the same in 2024 as it was in 1994. You know, 30-year difference, and it's not the same thing. You know, times have changed drastically. The environment, the economy, right? Even from the very way the truth is brought out, you know, because we got the internet, you know, you got all type of scoffers and access to information, and now people are coming with all different type of bugged out vain philosophies, and you got to be willing to stand on what you believe in. And whoa, what the yeah, you gotta be willing to stand on what you believe in, and not be overtaken when people come with all different type of philosophies and bugged out shit, man. Have you thinking crazy? Because if you ain't grounded in this truth, you know, you'll be easily persuaded. Or not, I won't say easily, but you'll be caught up in a lot of these what's the word? I don't know why it just lost me. Stumbling blocks. You know, there's a lot of stumbling blocks that are set up by men that you may revere. You know, men you may think are leaders. But all things are ordered and ordained by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So you just have to do your part. You do your part, you show up, you do the work, and the Most High he'll do the rest. You know, he'll dictate the outcome, he'll dictate the environment. You know, you as a man, you have to, and as a woman, you have to examine yourself. You know, you have to be fruitful. You have to be in season, out of season. All right. You got to be doing the work, man. You got to be sincere, and you got to be truthful about it. You got to be willing to accept everything that comes with this truth, the bitter and the sweet. You know, the honey. You gotta accept the sorrow. You gotta be willing to make the sacrifices. You gotta be willing to endure. You gotta be able to lose. All for what? Gain and Yahushua, Mashiach, which is ultimately the kingdom of heaven and the spiritual bodies, those new, immortal, and perfect bodies. That like daily examination, right? Examining yourself, whether you be in the faith, you know, exhorting one another, you know, being abounding in the word, all right? Looking at the scriptures and looking at the men of old, right? And thinking on the old paths, because the old paths, that was a very masculine time, you know, where men were a lot more austere and men were not guided by their emotions per se, but more so by logic and by wisdom. So once you let wisdom be the fuel and the motivator for your life, that's when you'll start to see a lot of things happen. A lot of greater things happen in your life, whether it's tangible or untangible. You know, the people around you will change. Then it gets to the point where you don't really have to do too much. You know, it's kind of on autopilot. You're kind of just moving with wisdom and faith, and things around you are starting to change and adapt and conform to you, because you're so convicted in what you believe in that you don't even have to think about making adjustments. They just happen. But in the very beginning stages of this truth, you have to make those little micro adjustments. You have to think about being convicted. You have to think about not doing something or doing something. And those things take time. It takes repetition. All right? It takes consistency. All right? So just remember to stay adaptable. Remember to stay, with that camouflage mentality that no matter what situation or environment you're thrown in, one, you're going to stand on your principles and your morals, but you'll know how to move and you'll know how to think depending on where you are. You're applying wisdom. All right. So just a quick little exhortation, Lord willing, this video is edifying to whomever may hear this. I want to say shalom to the elect Bob, a ball, and Lil Will, and I see you brothers and sisters on the kingdom.